So I don't have all the things.
Can I move it down?
I think so, for this.
Okay, so do you need a card for?
It's recording.
Oh, it is?
I
think so.
Record my butt.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is new, so whatever, we're not doing this one anymore, I guess, I don't really know.
Okay,
He changed it a lot, I guess.
but bones are still the same.
The volume should be the same, yes.
The only thing, articulations are missing, so sorry about that. I'll get that before the end of the week. So there's a couple of pizzicatos and tacits.
And we're just gonna read through this,
Okay. But I'll leave it on that.
but we're working on the volume. So I guess for now, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
All right, so we're here to demystify the voice a little bit, right?
Yeah, sure.
And can I hear from each of you a little bit about what kind of things are you finding yourself having control with? I know it's an instrument that's inside of us. It's a lot harder to fathom what is going on in there. There's so many components to it. And is there something in particular that you feel?
Personally?
Yeah.
Okay. Personally, for me, it'd probably be like, I guess just the mechanics of it all. And, you know, like she's always telling me, or she's always telling me, like, you gotta resonate in certain places. And on top of that, like, and then get it out of your throat. And I feel like, and it might be just be a mariachi thing, like, I feel pretty good, you know, the first couple songs, going through a gig, you know, but as we go on, it's more laboring and laboring and laboring. And I feel instead of, I don't know, keeping whatever posture I should have or whatever control I should have, it ends up like in my throat, and that's what makes me a little more tired. Or, you know,
Right. That's one of the biggest ways to fatigue yourself.
Yeah.
By not relying on a lower support.
Uh-huh.
So it's and that's one of the things that I love about mariachi music, and why I keep trying to come back to it in some form, and I'm glad I'm having the opportunity now. And it's that mariachi singing is very classical in nature.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, we're singing at restaurants, big parties, whatever, without microphones. It's in big spaces. It can be, and you never know what you're gonna have to do. So there are a lot of variables, and that's why I like to be ready for anything. Be ready with a complete instrument. Don't rely on the microphone. And that's opera right there. That's where my training comes from. It's the way I like to sing, no matter what the style. I like to apply that kind of technique to the singing. And but yes, resonators, all those things. We have two little chords that rely on what's underneath for breath, for pressure, for energy, and what's above to shape that sound into vowels, into consonants, emotional things. That's mind. So we're going to be dealing with a lot of things. I want to introduce those ideas slowly to you, or I guess it's going to be rather fast. You know, I'm going to be throwing a lot of information. Please, if at any point I don't make sense, if I'm rambling, please stop me and don't be afraid to ask questions. I would like to be as clear as possible and to help you. That's what I'm here for. And okay, so I talked about two little chords. We have a mechanism here that's pumping air. Hello. Hi, I'm Sergio.
Hi, I'm Christine.
Christine?
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about very, very basic things, Christine. We have two little chords that we're dealing with. And I just told them we rely on what's underneath for breath, for the breathing things, for the energy and the breath and the pressure. And we rely on what's above to shape that sound. So let me see, why don't we do some breathing things, because I think that is the most important thing for singing. Is if we don't set up the breathing right, the instrument is not correctly aligned. We rely on this pump here, and it has to be working. There's no maybe you'll catch. No, you have to physically think about where is your tummy, where is these muscles, what are they doing? the biggest thing, at least for me, with when I was beginning, was realizing that the side muscles, the intercostals, what expands your rib cage outward, has to be activated. And some of you who are instrumentalists if you've played a wind instrument or something like that, you will have some experience with it, of that kind of support. So I'm gonna do just breathing. Don't worry about sound for now. Usually I would use a straw for this. So at home, use like a coffee straw, very thin, because what I want is to take in breath slowly and really feel those muscles, become aware of what they're doing. Everything that I talk about should not be mystical or whatever. It should be very physical, objective things that you can go home and practice. And that's what I like to do, because there can be imagery and all those things, but I think that comes later. Right now we have to practice physical behaviors that are going to shape our technique. So let's all stand up. And our whole body is our instrument, so we're going to warm up the body. No, I don't think I'll go crazy with jumping jacks or anything like that, but at least reach down and touch your toes. Stay line. Stay loose, touch your toes, come back up. Stretch out your back. Go to side to side. And keep breathing through all of this. Don't ever stop breathing. Yes. Go back down, touch your toes. Come up slowly. Hands up. Hear all that popping, I'm an old man. Okay. Loosey goosey?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Let's get started. I want you to pretend you're breathing in, inhaling through a straw, very thin. And for all of these, from here up, you release. It's like if you're underwater or asleep. Nothing should be active here. It should just be open. The jaw drop. And okay, I want you to inhale. Slowly. While you're doing that, be aware of this coming out. This would be like where the diaphragm is sitting, the top of the abdomen comes out. Exhale. Now this time, I want you to feel this and the side. So I want you to feel your sides here and make sure you're expanding against your hand. We lost today. It's a disaster.
Does
I'm just breathing.
that in effect cause your abs to engage? I don't know if I'm doing
Yeah, everything should be working together. So should they engage in which way?
like
Contract?
when I physically make my ribs band, not contract. What is it? Would you expand?
Yeah.
I feel my abs contracting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to happen. That's
That
what I'm asking.
is a very good analysis. It should, because you've been seeing such a long time, I think these things have become natural in a way for you, and that's absolutely right.
I never thought about it though, so I didn't
Right.
know if that was right or not.
Right, so we're, yes, later on, and I'll throw this out there as an introduction, don't worry about what I'm saying if you're just starting out with vocal things, I'm adding a component because it was brought up. Yes, the lower abs will contract against this expansion. There is a pump, the action that has to happen. That's what the Italians call la lotta vocale, the vocal battle. And it's this expanding against this contracting. That's what's energizing your instrument. So yeah, that's
I didn't
absolutely
realize.
right.
That's neat to know.
So yeah, we want to warm up all those things. And I was going to do it slowly, but
I
okay. So be aware of all of that. It's almost like a belly dance, you know, tucking in. Yeah. I'll just let Emily teach her. Yeah, so we have that action working against itself and for a greater cause, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep doing that. And one thing I like to do arbitrarily, you'll see me, if, we're just hanging out or whatever, I'll just start messing with things. Like I'm just, I guess I'm always thinking about keeping this instrument alive. And one thing that I like to do is just treat this as a muscle, like you were lifting weights or something, I don't know, flexing. And yeah, you can make this jump, like this, in and out, side.
I don't think I'm there yet.
Oh, okay. I'll go to you guys one by one, and I'll be helping you get that expansion. Okay, so collapse, let it all out, and breathe in. There you go. You're a trumpet player. You got this.
Okay.
Do you mind?
I'm really ticklish, okay. Oh wait, am I supposed to exhale first?
Exhale first, then I'm gonna, okay. Yeah, complete collapse, now engage, yeah. There you go. You never have to lock up, they should just naturally
Okay.
get to that position, okay? Chase in, breathe out. Go for it. Good, it's a little bit more chest than it is this right here.
Mhm.
So focus on this coming out.
Okay.
Good, now did you feel your back muscles activate this time?
A little more here.
Yeah, rather than,
Then up.
yeah,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right. And like I told her, never lock in that position.
Just
You're kind of re-engaging that sensation, but never rigid,
Okay.
okay?
Keep it
So
pretty
just
loose.
kind of
In and out.
Feel like this part is floating. Yeah.
Okay.
Lexia, you're an expert, but I'll check in. Collapse.
Float.
Now. There you go. And this is when you say you feel a contraction.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Misty,
And what am I supposed to do? Blow up first?
first, yeah, collapse, completely dead, yeah. Now we're activating. While you went here. Do it again. Yeah, so focus on outward too, sideways, and some people have to take back muscles as well.
I feel like my back
It's a
is
360
going out.
expansion, but I try to focus on one thing and that should activate the rest. But it's really all one thing. Is that collapsed? Now focus just on side. And most
I'm like
likely-
panicking about these weird things.
Think like you're flexing like the shoulder blade area. From the shoulder blades out this way. You see what happens. The breath is too high. If you take in the breath from the throat, it's not gonna happen. It has to be connected to this motion.
Okay.
No. And so usually that's a matter of dropping these muscles.
I'm trying to keep the straw
Is it
in my mouth, so that's why I'm tiny.
Yeah, it's a small opening,
Confused
but
by the straw.
let me see what happens if you take it out. If you just drop.
Keep the straw.
Oh. That's a deeper breath. Now let me see what's happening. Right. There's more movement, but now try to make it 360. So it's right now it's forward like this. Try to
It's hard.
like on the rib cage. There's a part that becomes like an upside down V, right?
Okay.
That point, that vertex there, horizontally, you should be able to jump in and out. Like the ribcage just does that, yeah, like an accordion. So think about it that way. Now without the shoulders. Now from here. Yeah. Now there's expansion all around.
Okay.
That's right.
I knew this was my weakness.
There's a breathing thing for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's breathing.
All right. And you'll have to remind me of all your names when I get around. Emily. Collapse. Okay, yeah, that's that. And from here. Push that against my finger and here. There you go. See how actively you have to think about it at first? These are muscles that are asleep right now. Like we're not used to calling on them. So we have to actively think and do.
Both.
Yes. All right. Collapse. There you go. Now inhale. And I'm sorry, that was one basic thing that I didn't talk about. Mouth and nose.
Oh,
Right.
oh,
Yeah. Everything should be
Oh, I can
open.
do it.
I did that, okay.
Why can you do not like breathe in your mouth?
Maybe
Oh,
that's probably why.
Thanks for
That
doing
made a big difference
Whoa.
right away.
Were you breathing through your nose and then?
No,
I'm talking about breathing
just my
through your
mouth.
nose.
Just-
This was closed
At
off.
the same time.
Yeah, if you can only have time to breathe in one place, mouth is better, but.
But opening the
Yeah.
nose makes it feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yes. Good. Yeah, so that action of intake of the breath made a lot of difference in your violinist.
Violinist.
One, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Emily. Ready, collapse. There you go. That's the thing.
That's a good question.
You play an instrument, right? Okay. Christine. No, sounds like Christine. So it's not vertical? No. These things are naturally going to move to get out of the way. But our focus is outward, this way, this way. And that should activate these muscles.
Maybe it's all that breathing.
Yeah.
I used to really breathe.
Good.
No.
Collapse. Good. All right. All right, so I have some very athletic folk here who are easily able to access all of this. Now comes the tricky part. You learn how to take in the breath. Nose, mouth, release up here. This expands at the that's step number one. Now we're gonna. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Number one. Yeah, that's number one. That's number one. Yes. While you're exhaling or expelling sound, either one should be able to keep this position where you were out, and without locking up, you should be able to fight against that instinct to cave in. And that's gonna be the trick to singing. While you're exhaling, keep the position. Anything you have questions with, ask me about it.
And it's not like tense, it's not like making all of this tense, it's just pushing. That's all it is. It's not like tensing up your abs, it's just pushing.
Right, if you contract, it's gonna cave in.
Yeah, okay.
If you try to force it there,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like this irresistible thing of doom.
Your stomach muscles don't get tighter? I feel like mine get tighter when I exhale.
That's our tendency.
So that's bad.
Right.
So you just want it to come out as naturally as possible.
We start, this is another one of those things that's might be a little bit advanced, but it might only be advanced because I learned it late. But in that last little gasp of breath that you have, that's when you finally bring it in. Because it's collapsing already, you help it. You cave in willingly in a controlling way to be set up for that release again. And you're back in position. Cuts time, it's
The last gasp in or the last gasp out?
last gasp out.
Out.
Yes. So the last little gasp, then it's controlled in. And it helps keep the pressure constant for that last little breath, or else it's a sound that's already dead. We want it energized, the same as the rest of it.
So when you say like keep the same position, because like when you exhale, they close back in, right? That's what you mean. So what do you mean? Like what position do we keep?
Both, all of the 360 extension that we're talking about,
So
It
it should
stays.
stay like.
it should stay out into that last little bit of breath.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah. So instead of like letting it collapse, all that.
yes.
Okay.
Does it feel like, is it supposed to feel like any muscles are engaged?
Yeah, they're
Just to
engaged.
keep it, because I think that's.
But not like they're engaged,
But
but
not
not
like-
tense. Not like you're like.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it should feel like weightlifting.
But
Yeah,
there
it's
is
just-
some I mean, when you're blowing out, there is some, whatever this is. right?
Contraction?
Yeah.
Retraction.
Where am I? Way?
Not too much, not too much.
So you want us to like.
And that's
pull it
our
up
goal, is
and
to
then-
keep it as much the same as possible. And it's work, it's gonna take time to
But
develop.
not like.
I can't say, I'm not gonna say that you can't sing without that, but we're trying to build a perfect, not perfect,
I don't wanna do that.
very exact thing. Yes, Chrissy?
I took vocal lessons for a little while, but I know my teacher used to have me like not do a push-up, but lean against the table because it would force your muscles to engage. And so then you wouldn't have to think so much about doing it, it would just happen naturally. It's not like a full-on push-up or anything, it's just.
Right, the same thing happens if you lie on your back
Mhm.
and just work against, it's almost like gravity is helping you achieve all that in a funny way, because you would think, okay, it's just gonna suck it all down. But it's like you're more aware of it and it's easier. But yeah, that's very good. And also another thing my teachers have taught me was to try to lift something, lift the piano, for example, keep you there. And that position will stay for, scientific reasons, I guess. Science.
And what will that like help us in like keeping a steady tone, or what does that help you? Like?
Yeah, you're steadily creating one sound, and we'll get to sound in a little bit. And you want the vibrancy, the energy to be constant.
Okay, so
Yeah. And you want the instrument to be such that when you're energizing it, when you're feeding it, it's not air from like right below the chords, but it happens way underneath that. The energy comes from way underneath and gets this out of the way. Because that's what causes fatigue, is singing from above this. Okay. Maybe we can, does somebody have a guitar or something?
Yeah,
Oh, we have a piano too.
also piano.
Also a piano. We're gonna keep it very simple today. We're gonna use A. Use the same things that I just told you. I know it's a lot to think about. Keep the physical actions the same. I'm just adding layers to it. And if at any point it gets too much, let me know, and I'll reconfigure something to maybe just to stick to breathing for this time, or whatever it is.
Okay, we'll just keep doing it.
Yeah. So far so good?
Yeah.
Okay. A, 3-note pattern, ascending descending. Keep focusing on that expansion. So I think range-wise, you guys aren't bad off. That's good. You made it all the way to the
Oh
end.
no,
or-
she did. I was like,
Oh.
someone was like,
Right.
it was lovely.
It was our singer.
Somebody was getting it.
You have you studied voice, right? All
For
right.
a year,
Okay,
a
thought so.
long time ago.
Okay, any questions?
Nope, I mean,
But before I go on, are there any questions or any troubles that you found right now in applying this or anything?
no, I feel like it's easier.
What? It got easier just by doing
Yeah.
these physical things. Yes, Josh?
As like an offshoot of that, when you're breathing in, let's say just you have to get a quick breath,
Uh-huh.
and you get maybe like a cold breath in. I don't know if that makes sense, like a cold breath and a hot breath. Like
Yes, that makes sense.
And what can you do to facilitate if this dries up? Has that ever happened to you that you breathe in and then this gets real dry?
That action that you just did?
Well, not the compressed, no.
Yeah.
Like you'll take a quick breath, but it'll be like maybe like cold air.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do to facilitate that? Or how can you get out of that? That's happened to me in the past where I'll take a breath and I'm like, I feel fine. I'll try to sing, and then this will dry up immediately. And then that just kind of, then this becomes like a psychological game after that.
Yeah, right now, while we're doing these exercises, I am asking you to consciously breathe in and increase that intake of breath. As we get more and more advanced with this idea, it no longer requires any extra gas. As soon as you expand and release, the intake of breath is there, whether you feel it or not. The breath is replenished through that action. So if you ever feel that you need a quick breath, train yourself at home for that piece or whatever it is to expand rather than suck in breath. Because that can dry you out very quickly. Taking in 20 breaths like that throughout a piece or whatever, it will. But how do I stay, I don't know, the only way it happens to me is the only way I lose hydration here is through nerves or something like that.
Just an overall, like let's say dryness. Let's say like you get that. How is it because of lack of warm up? Or you just stop breathing well?
I guess one of the big things that I always try to keep is staying hydrated and is keeping water there. I've heard of so many things. Bite a chili pepper, coat your throat with Vaseline. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff.
I read something today about like myths of vocal warm-ups, and the thing that, besides the myths, they said the main thing is to stay hydrated, and that if you wait till you start to perform, it's too late. You need to start drinking water 3 to 4 hours before your performance, because it takes that long to get through your system to your vocal cords. And so they said you should really just be drinking all the time, all day long when you're gonna sing, and then you don't have to worry about it. But if you wait till the performance to start drinking, then you're doing
That's absolutely right. Thank you. And you know, if I had an opera to sing tonight at 8 o'clock, I started hydrating yesterday.
Right.
And I stopped drinking water completely at 6 o'clock. And then you can't take it anymore or put yourself along anymore. You know, maybe during the show or whatever, you might take a sip and it'll set you up for the second act, whatever. But hydration is one of those things that you have to prepare for in advance. And I'm sure you know that from playing trumpet and everything like that. Did I somewhat help? I know it kind of seems like I'm going around it, but there's I think another core problem in the hydration thing, and it's in the preparation of it. Yeah.
Maybe like the act of you taking in air really quick sounds like a shallow breath, and so you're technically breathing wrong according to like the thing. So just if you need like a quick breath, just I like to think of that, because I feel like then you breathe into
Right,
the throat,
exactly.
and then that's
Absolutely.
when you're dry. That's what I mean.
Absolutely right. Yeah, they will dry you out. Like I said, those quick breaths, and they won't fill you up as much, which is funny. It's one of those things. It doesn't make sense. until, I mean, I wish we had some kind of machine or something that we could keep on us and told you how much the loads are filled up and all that. Yeah, but yeah, that's absolutely right. A quick rest will dry you out.
I think I've heard that when you're like at a cold situation, because I mean, like I once did a gig like at a cold, like outside, and I think the suggestion they made is either breathe through the nose or when you breathe through the mouth, let like kind of not muffle but like cover, like breathe like that so that they won't let, so that you don't let the cold air come in, but you do take in air but not the cold part, I guess. I don't know.
Like insulate the air.
Yeah, so you can still get the air, because that's happened to me before when you're like singing outside, like when and it's super cold.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that one.
Super
You actually,
Yeah.
we have to sing in all kinds of conditions, and we have to be prepared for them. That's one element that I don't have to deal with anymore, but that's absolutely right. I would think breathe in through the nose, and the whole tongue thing. The only thing that's making me think is that it could throw off the position of this. It will make your sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if that was the right thing that they told me, but I remember they told me that they strongly suggested to breathe in through the nose when it's cold air.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could get it out of the way and all that. It could work, but definitely the nose, I mean, will stop. The cold will hopefully stop, somewhere here rather than there. Okay, I'll leave the exercise thing. Okay. There are no more questions. I'd like to hear a few singers.
Yeah.
Okay. Volunteers? It can be with instruments, without instruments, however you want to do it.
Are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
What are you doing? We'll do. I'll sing one that we're gonna do for the show.
You're singing a piece, or you're all together singing?
Oh, you want us all?
No. I'm asking.
Oh, this is what
You're singing this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. What is the name of it?
We do two versions of something.
Oh, wait, what?
We get to practice.
Yeah. Is it okay if I sit here?
What were you doing?
You understand? I'm not telling you I don't know.
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llama?
Yo no sé. Así se llama una canción, yo no sé.
Yo no sé. Christine, can I get your...
día sin tu cariño. No sé si yo podría vivir sin ti, acostumbrado a tus caricias toda la vida, acostumbrado a estar contigo muy junto a ti, hasta el ver si me dejas algún día. Yo no sé qué pasaría sin tu querer. Buscaría la manera de buscarte y de encontrarte y de tenerte para siempre junto a mí. Tal vez si tú me dejas algún día, yo no sé qué pasaría sin tu querer. Buscaría la manera de buscarte y de encontrarte y de tenerte para siempre junto a mí.
All right. Thank you for encouraging me first, and it's a beautiful song. I've never heard it before.
Oh, really?
I can't believe it. Who wrote this?
This was Pedro Reagan and one of his brothers. They did
Yes. I probably do have it somewhere. I have like off the record collections. And
Oh yeah, they're probably my favorite. I mean, like one of my favorites. I feel like I was trying to do.
Beautiful.
I was trying to like holding the longer notes. I felt like what I was trying to do was like keep the shape you're telling me. What I'm used to doing, what I wanted to keep going back to, is like holding my abs like firm, and that's why I feel like I would get like I don't know. I just feel like I'm so.
Especially in climactic moments, we're always going to come back to instinct.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we're building is instinct.
Yeah.
That blueprint of how do we sing. And right now, while we were doing the breathing things, I noticed that you were dropping, inhaling, expanding, all very well in one thing. Now, to prepare to sing, when we applied it to sound, I saw preparation, and then I saw this almost as a separate thing, expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was a weird thing. It's like contract back in and then go back out. It's like you forgot and then you remembered.
Okay. I get
That makes sense?
Yeah.
And I know it's a lot of things we're juggling right now. But I just want to make you aware of it. It's not a criticism. It's an observation for you to take home and practice that first breath. Like,
Okay.
no matter what the sounds are going around you or anything that's going on in front of you visually, focus on that one thing, taking in that first breath over and over,
Okay.
and making that first sound without contracting first before you make it.
Okay. Yeah, so like tensing up is kind of like right before I sing or right before I let the sound out.
Right.
I feel kind of-
And if we drop any of these things mentally in the very beginning stages, we will lock up. We will go back to old habits. So that's why I think it's very important, and at least what I do with my own music is practice the very beginning, practice the end, and then work it
Work it
from the
in.
beginning to end, yeah. Any other things that you noticed? Because that was a good observation that you made as to what was different between what we were practicing
Yeah.
and what could you apply it right now?
Exactly.
You know, 5 minutes after I told you
Yeah.
do this.
I mean, that's mainly what I was thinking about while I was doing it. But also, like, I don't know, like sometimes I feel I just don't know if I'm like singing here or like back here, or you know what I mean, like where to resonate, I guess. People always tell me to feel this kind of resonance here, but I almost feel like I never feel it there. Like I never feel something there. You know what I mean?
Resonance is a byproduct. It's not, and it can be, somewhat of a goal. It is not the reason of something happening. We sing from those two chords. Everything that happens is laryngeal.
Okay.
These things are byproducts. You can't help this because it already happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
These chords need to be vibrating a certain way, and that's all we can do about it. The rest of it, they say leave it alone. It's not about leaving it alone, I don't think. Maybe it's about restructuring it. It's about not letting that soft palate go down. You stay up, and that's part of this drop thing. If you're dropped here, and you're kind of thinking like a yawn position type of drop, soft palate will be high.
Okay.
And what that does is it keeps all the spaces in the right proportions. Because yes, we have throat, we have chest. All these things are resonators. Chest, throat, mouth, nasal, forehead, very top. As we go through our ranges, the proportions of those resonators and how they're active change. In other words, our very low notes, we almost only hear chest resonance.
Okay.
The extremely high notes, they're predominantly up here. And it's not that we're putting it there, that's where the sound is naturally going.
Okay.
But I don't need you to feel anything.
Okay,
I need you to
cool.
focus on vibrating the chords correctly. And that brings me to another thing that I noticed, and you'll hear me talk about a lot, and it's the breath to sound ratio. I shouldn't hear breath in the sound. Because if there's any breath in the sound, then I'm hearing an inefficiency of breath. Like it's way too much for that one note. Every note has its exact breath or whatever, but we don't need to worry about, okay, put this many milligrams. It's just the voice will administer it. So maybe let's all do a warm up. This is just a glide. I want you on an ah vowel to go from your lowest note to your highest, trying to keep the chords vibrating and not add breath at the top. If I were to add breath at the top, then I'm pushing and I'm contracting and trying to reach for that sound. If I rely on that glided sound and focus on it being just one unified pressure, so that there's not excess air leaking, then you get that's your full range. And it's all there. It's in those little chords. As long as they're vibrating, they're catching the right amount of breath, and you're not contracting, they will be able to make that sound. These muscles don't take much to coordinate. To tell you the truth, it's mostly going to be the breathing muscles.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so try to glide just on lowest note to your highest note. It doesn't have to be on the same note for everyone. But 1, 2, 3, go. So maybe I want you guys to do it one more time, and I want you to focus on this. From certain instruments, I'm hearing like this little beam of sound at the top. It's almost like a little sparkly thing, like a ping. And we want to keep that. That's what the instrument becomes. It becomes mostly ping at the top, rather than ah, right? So I want you to listen for that. One more time. Some of you hear it? Yeah. Yeah, so and another thing with the sound, since we're going there already, vowels. That's mostly what we're going to have in the sound. Yes, I'll teach you about consonants and keeping the energies the same for consonants and vowels. But vowel position is very important. Right now, you're hearing me speak very incorrectly, as if I were to apply this to singing. I could not sustain this sound. That's where it tops out.
Yeah.
Oh, if I were to do this, if I were to change to this, I would rather. This is right for singing. The vowel spectrum goes from E-L to spoken. I don't know why you speak this way. I shouldn't be doing it. It's very bad. I don't know why you speak this way. But if we become almost like gosh, how do I say this sensitively? Just a release sound. It's almost like the mouth goes from here to here. You're forming vowels, and like I said, everything's laryngeal, right? The sound there, we need it to unify. We need to come together in one place. All things, vowels and sound, and vowel formation and sound. So they become not so high in position. It's easier to manage. Yes, sir.
You said laryngeal? Can you explain?
Laryngeal, the larynx, the house for the two chords. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes.
How do you differentiate from that and trying to get somebody not to sing through it? Because they might make some think that they have to.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's absolutely true. The way to do that is to not, while you're releasing and lowering the position, the tongue stays forward, just like when you were speaking. You don't use the tongue to speak. So when you switch to singing mode, that's because to us that can sound the same in the beginning. And can sound the same inside. It's just a matter of being physically aware of that space in the throat. That's the pharynx. The throat lining, that's the pharynx. So the pharyngeal space needs to be as open as possible at all times and constantly open. Without, and the easiest thing to get in the way, of course, is the tongue, the back of the tongue. So now we're gonna, instead of singing, we're just gonna speak vowels in this order: E, E, A, O, U, Italian, Spanish. And I'll write them on the word. These are pure vowel sounds. Pronounce them like in Spanish. So it's E, A, O, U. Kind of staccato, I guess. Try it. E, A, O, U. Now more unified. Yeah, so instead of Right, and slowly we're gonna get that position lower and lower to where there is such a thing as going overboard, and I think that's when the tongue gets involved. But we want it to be a little bit like that, without the tongue. So back to Jason, you sang a little bit for us, thank you. Can you try just singing vowels in this way, so you're not focused on too much? I really like the energy you bring to the text. I could tell that you understood the words, and that's my biggest focus, but we don't have to worry about that with you. Let me hear it just with vowels if you can.
Okay.
It's gonna be tricky, I guess, but I want a constant sound.
Okay, so sing the song with just with.
Just with vowels. So we're focusing on technique rather than emotional things and all that because I don't need to worry about that.
So do you want me to sing just pick the vowel and sing the song, or do you want to sing the
You can do
song?
that as well, but just the vowels that are in the text.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
Yo. Oh, okay. Okay, right now? Or are we playing together?
Yeah. Right before you sing, so shall we do it? Let's stop there. So there, rather than putting air in each little note, we're doing one thing. One unified sound. So just try almost at the beginning, if you have to, glide through it all. Make a mess out of it for right now. We'll clean it up.
Okay, cool. Start right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's breath right now, right? Yeah. This breath. Let's try going back to just sound. So just think low vowels without compressing this inward. It's gonna stay. Closer. Now you didn't punch each one with breath.
Okay.
One more time. Do you feel?
It feels.
Do you feel like you're expanding, dropping, and then you're grabbing to push air there? Like, do you feel that little punch of air?
Yeah.
You can put a little bit, but almost think like you're caressing the chords rather than punching.
Okay.
You can turn around this way so everybody can see. Whoa. Right. Do you all hear like a little zzz in the sound? No, that's the technical term for it is the fundamental. The chords are vibrating without excessive breath. That little buzz, if you can zero in on it and just connect to that, almost treat it as if that's your voice, that's your instrument.
Yeah.
Then I think you'll be able to access all these notes, all your whole range without focusing on how much breath am I adding here, or pumping, any of that.
So you're saying like
You're starting correctly is what I'm saying. But then you're adding breath as you go. And that's gonna dole out the sound.
Okay. Okay.
Closer. And the funny sounds of
Okay, so as far as the valve, you're saying like keep it low.
Low, right? And you're doing that correctly.
Oh!
It's already 100 times better.
You,
Once you connect emotional things and everything else to it, it'll sound beautiful. Right now, we're just making sounds. We got to connect that to everything else. That
yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
definitely. So,
This is extracted. This is technically 100 times better than the other.
okay.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. You want me to sing again or?
Just that middle part. A little before it. And I don't. Still keep making the sound more and more individual as you can, and it's going to start with that vowel.
Okay.
And good job. And that high note came in a lot easier. It's like you got to reach for it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So slowly we're going to build on that.
okay.
All right.
Great. Yeah. That's
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I was looking, I was like, whoa. I couldn't tell, but I thought it was you.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
What is it?
Well, it sounded like it was like, whoa. Like,
Do you want to continue on this, or do you want to hear somebody else?
Next person, whoever wants to sing something, especially if it's for the concert.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. Christy,
Whatever you're preparing. Yeah.
That's the only song we picked for singing that's on our concert, right?
Oh, I mean, like, whatever. Who's up next? Whoever's next. We don't have to do that. I mean, like, unless you want to do like.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be from them. Whoever
Yeah.
wants to sing something.
Oh, we're gonna throw that on? Okay, cool.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And one more thing while I'm remembering with Jason, I was using ah because it's distinctive to hear any change in the vowel.
Yeah.
We want to keep it mostly the same, but if you want to focus on that buzz, that laryngeal buzz, that zzz that I was talking about, E
E.
or E, right? The E, the only danger with it is it might become nasal. That's why I prefer E, but if you want the chords really sealed and there's no doubt that they're going to close, E vowel.
E.
Yeah,
Sing the whole thing on E.
Okay.
and you play part two, right? So, what part do you play on this one? One? So probably two. Well, I play three, but I would do the introduction. So maybe
Who's going to sing?
me.
Christy.
Awesome.
Christy!
Don't forget your first breath, nose and mouth. You don't have to. If you can, don't play for it.
Okay.
Just so you can focus on. I know there's a lot to focus on.
There's muscle memory for
You don't
me,
have to.
so I'll try to not
But
sing what
if you think it's easier for you, that's fine. But I think it's a lot to focus on.
Yeah, let's focus on stuff.
Yeah.
beautifully energized. The vibrancy, the vibrato rate is perfect. Usually in mariachi singers, I hear very slow vibrato. And I'm like, come on, get with it, energize the voice a little more. Come on. And it's beautifully vibrated. I really like that. When I told you project a little more, it made a huge difference. I don't know if you felt that. So I don't think it's too much technical. We are going to have to focus a little bit more on making the controls lower.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of what that's going to throw off in the process of you rebuilding from there. But this song also made me think that the projection issue was a little bit range.
It's low.
It's very low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because once you got into your middle, into the song's range got like into the middle and above, you had no problems. And I heard then the ring come in from the voice. So maybe consider a key change. I don't know if
That's up to you all.
but yeah, I think that would help a lot. If there's a microphone involved, there will be absolutely no problem.
Yeah, we'll have a mic for that.
Yeah, it's fine. Speaking of projection, maybe I want you to just do the vowel chain that we're doing, EL, and really focus on the sound, amplitude. So, E, A, A, O, U, to the back. Sorry.
Oh my god.
There is a low position. Can you speak like this? Hi, my name is Daniel. What is your name?
It's okay.
It's okay. Everybody's gonna do it in a little while. I'm gonna go around and do it terribly.
Like down here? No, I have such a high
So
voice.
it's not in pitch, it's in position.
Oh, okay.
So, if I were to speak in the same, yell is my high, the way I speak. Yell is the same pitch. Believe it or not, that's the same pitch.
Wow. Are you dropping your larynx? Is that what's
the larynx happens to drop. I am not consciously thinking,
Okay.
angering it.
Larynx fall.
Let the larynx fall. He doesn't like that.
I tend to get into a vocal fry when I think low, so that's not good.
Yeah, that's because that's a pitch thing. That's a low pitch. I want a medium pitch in a low position. So everything dropped, all of this expanded.
E, like there.
So breathe the same way you would for singing.
E, A.
Mouth and nose.
E, A,
A,
O.
That's a little bit more, but really to the back.
E, A, O.
Yeah, that's a little bit one-dimensional now. So I drop more. E, A, O.
E, A, O.
Right, that's more of the position for singing. This has to be that released. Because if not, then the channels are cut off for certain resonances to come in. Next time we'll have to talk about the different pitches created to make one sound in singing. So remind me of that, please, at some point. But yeah, the only way I'll explain now is the resonators, the cavities, are open in order for you to expel the sound through different ways. If you try to make it E-A-O-O, that's as loud as I can get. If I open it up more, E-A-O-O, then I can put all those sounds together. And yeah, they sound horrible right now with just applying out of contrast, out of context. It sounds very bad, but later is going to come intentional things, emotional things, text things that are going to come in that are going to change the listener's perception of that sound. But for right now, we're trying to create as much noise as possible, if you want to put it that way. So try it one more time.
E-A-O-O.
Right, but one sound. E-A-O-O.
One sound?
Yeah, so don't make a different sound for E and N. So if, I know I have to explain it from out here, right? Because you can only listen to what's going on inside. So if I were to recreate the way I heard it, was E, A, A, O, U.
Mhm.
Is the best I can describe it.
Like a unison.
Yeah, it's one sound. I'm making that one sound, but I'm separating the vowels. I just happen to
If you
separate.
try to keep your jaw on the same tube, that helps.
Right, so the control, the reason I want the vowel low is because now the control is no longer from the mouth. It's from here. That makes sense? I don't have to move my mouth to make those sounds now.
I don't know how to do it.
Right, but don't get stuck to push out sound. It's all one thing. Go through the
I'm
motion.
asking you a question. No, I don't know how to do this. I don't
Collapse
do this.
completely? Relax.
I'm asking questions still.
You're asking me a question?
No, I'm the way I'm doing it. I'm going, no.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. It's okay. Listen, this is gonna take time to put all these things together, work them out separately, slowly put them, recreate one thing. I like to think about it as one big thing if it's at all possible, but I know that's like a mind juggling act. But remember I talked about step number 1? That was mouth and nose inhalation with this, the throat opening, and this cavity all expanding. The ribs go out, abdomen goes out, back muscles also help you go out. That's just step number 1. So we've got to make sure that happens every time. With that, we can start applying sound through it. Because if you keep that position in step number 1, then you no longer have to think about, is this open enough? That's too much to think about. That'll throw a million factors into it. So we want E, A, A, O, U. It's for it to become automatic. You call on it, it's there.
Okay.
Yes?
Is it like you breathe in one time and then like you're breathing out? It's like exhaling like one breath and you're using those to exhale all of the breath that you just took in. You know what I mean?
She's asking if you're singing on that one breath. Like if you're singing all the vowels on that one breath.
Oh, am I taking another breath before each vowel?
Yeah.
Kind of like just using that one breath to say all those vowels. Or
Right,
maybe to
that's
say all
that's
of
another part of it, is now you're allowed to, it facilitates this phrasing idea, this line, if you will. And that it happens to be connected to the breath. Yes, it's one breath.
like not taking a break between each vowel and just like
Oh, were you taking breaths between the vowels?
I was taking a breath, but I'm choking off because it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Oh, right, because I'm adding kind of like a glottal stop. Like what would be I guess an American thing to do. I'm closing the chords each one, but it's not a new breath.
I don't think I was taking a breath, but.
So try it without glottals, without any. Ew!
Ew!
Lower control for the vowels. Ew! Don't focus on the mouth. The mouth, leave it alone now. The mouth is now down here.
Ew!
I'm still seeing a little bit of bite. Just drop it. Yeah, drop it.
Ew! I don't know.
Yes, Josh. A suggestion, maybe?
You're doing it from
Exactly.
Yo! It's like you're making the sound from here, not from here.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to do
Yeah,
that.
no, you're about to do it right there.
Ew! No, I don't know.
That's better. That was better.
Yeah, that was better in this movement. Now the vowel has to move. Now. Do you hear the change that I make from when I speak to when I sing?
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that. I
The
don't know
wrist
what
is
to
all
do with
caught.
that.
Yeah, it's a space thing, and it's also a mechanical thing because I have to unhinge this jaw. It has to be dropped. No muscles are actively like doing this or anything.
E-A-O.
Right, but it has to be more energized. Just like for singing. E-A-O.
E-A-O. I feel like you're wasting time on me. Let's go to someone who's gonna learn. I'll practice.
No,
Oh, I'm just taking up time.
don't be nervous. Everybody's gonna learn something at some point. Like Christine will throw in a thing that triggers my memory or something else to say or to add in to help you. We're all helping each other, so really don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're good.
I want to make sure that I give you something that you can take home and practice. But if I just try it one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll leave it alone.
E-A-O.
Right. That's more without. Right. Now I think you went a little too far with the tongue thing. So focus on it working that way without the tongue. Yeah.
E-A-O.
That's more and more coming together. See, you are going somewhere. But okay, I'll leave it alone. Do you want to? Do you want to try it one more time? Maybe try to apply this, or do you not feel comfortable with
The
it?
song, you mean?
Yeah, the song.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're doing a projection thing, and all we're doing was moving the valve from here to here. That way, you can now get more sound. It's more resonances combining that you can control the amplitude or a little bit better. It should be easier to control the volume. me. Thank you.
Thank
I-
you.
it-
I learned this a lot.
Sorry?
I know. I just ignore me.
I think it's just gonna be a confidence thing to put it all together, but I'm not worried about what's already there.
Okay.
It's gonna be a mind thing to put.
Yeah, it's always
just,
about the
yeah.
mind for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, earlier we were talking about dangers that come with this technique. One was the tongue. With a tongue, it's possible to muffle some of those open vowels, ow, and possibly ooh, ooh. And it's possible for us to mistake an incorrect tongue position with what's correct. It can be a very subtle thing when we're making a transition. So right now, the two closest vowels, the closest closed vowel to an open vowel is e to a. So I want you to do a little exercise with me. And it's going to be switching between those two. In a low position, everything else applies. The breath, the position. So, if I were to just sustain an S sound, eh. Try it after me. Eh. Eh. One more time. Yes, yes. Now I'm going to sustain it, and I'm going to be switching between and in order to unify them as much as possible resonance-wise. If I do that, it's going to open up. It's going to eliminate the possibility of bringing back the tongue to create an because it's forward for the e. So a demonstration would be Try it. So if you feel then there's too much change. It should almost trick you into, am I singing an A or am I singing an A? Try it one more time. Keep going, keep going. Yeah.
Is it supposed to be your tongue? Or
Your tongue naturally forms those vowels.
At the back
Doing
is
like some trumpet stuff right now.
But if the tongue, if the back of the tongue goes a little low, then it's gonna hit the sound that's coming out of those vocal cords. It's gonna disturb that stream. But it's not really. It's changing a physical space, and the sound that's going through it. So it's like changing. It's like playing a bottle or something with water in it, and it makes a certain pitch, and adding more water to it or something is gonna make a different pitch naturally. And but it's gonna be a little bit unpleasant to the listener if they hear that disturbance, because it's too rapid of a change, and it's only between two vowels. Our goal is to unify the timbre, to unify the pressures, and the ease throughout the range. And I think this is the easiest way to do it. And so this is a very simple exercise that I think you can do at home. The only way to verify it is to listen to it. Become very critical at listening, deciphering those two sounds. There'll be minimal change to where nothing is disturbed. Can I hear like a group chorus thing?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, see whatever part you know. Sum it up. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Someone's in on
como se pase volando a todos diles que sí. Pero no les digas cuándo, así que dijiste a mí. Por eso vivo pegando